What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the NASA Report. On today's edition, I am reviewing Need for Speed Heat, the latest racing installment into the long-running franchise. Figure I'd switch it up. I did an action game last time. Figure it's a good time to do the racing game. There was a lot of good stuff, and I can't wait to talk about it with you guys. So before we get in and talk about Need for Speed Heat, let's go over the criteria review just to remind you guys, and if you're new to the channel, welcome. Here's how we're grading games. We are looking at graphics, and we're going to be rating that out of 10. Does the game look good? Is it appealing to the eye? Does it look like a game that belongs in 2020? Then we will look at the performance. Does it run smoothly? Is it a game that works well? And then the entertainment out of 10. Does it give you lots of things to do even after you beat the game? And then we'll have a final score reviewing it out of 30 and giving you a better idea. So let's jump in and take a look at some of the gameplay. This is a evening race, which in Need for Speed Heat there are 2 times you race basically. In the daytime, which is when you earn cash and you don't have to worry about the cops, and then at nighttime when you are trying to earn your rep. And I guess the primary goal of this game is to get to rep level 50, and then you pretty much have free reins to do whatever you want. As far as what the differences in the two are, I think in the evening is when it gets challenging because the cops can come out and they are relentless. They are trying to bust you, and they can be frustrating to outrun. But at the end of the day, I think in the beginning and middle phase of the game, it can be really frustrating because of how good the cops are. But once you get a really fast, exotic, like, a Mercedes just really modified up well, or, a Corvette, some American muscle there, those will work out pretty well when outrunning the cops. During the daytime, you don't have to worry about any of this. It's just about finishing your race, getting first place, earning money. And during the daytime is when you earn that cash to customize your car, make it look how you want, tune it to the way you'd like it, and just equip it so it's ready to go at night pretty much. And you have the freedom to choose when you can race in the garage, which I will show you guys later on. That option is very important to note, because if you're just racing around at the day waiting for it to go tonight, I haven't had it happen where it automatically changes. You have to go to the garage first, select when you'd like to go out in the day or the night, and then it'll go out accordingly. So that's a cool touch. I love how in this entry in Need for Speed you are racing at 2 different times, and the visuals support that as well. During the night, I think that's when Palm City, which is basically a split image of Miami, looks really good. I was very pleased with how the game not only looked from the city, skyline perspective of things, but also performance-wise. It ran pretty well too. But I'm not going to go off talking on a trail yet. Visually speaking, I mean, the cars look good as well. I think it's Need for Speed's most complete racing game in a very long time. So for the graphics, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. Palm City is fantastic, especially in the evening. The cars look great too, and the little details that you can put on the car are captured in great detail. I love the way they did this, and I think visually speaking, you're going to really like how this game looks. So I'm going to show you guys briefly what a cop chase looks like during the evening. Again, this is the only time the cops come after you. During the day, you can race assured that the cops won't come after you. I think this is a really important component of the game, because I don't think we've had a police chase experience like this in a Need for Speed game in a very long time. And while it is stressful and the cops can be very persistent and a pain in your rear, it is rewarding, outrunning them and getting that rep. The secret to accumulating rep quickly is by doing more events, but the more events you race, the more likely it is you will get captured. So tread carefully to end the night, and go back. You do that by going back to your garage and outrunning the cops. It can be a little bit of a tedious process, but that's something that I highly recommend is, as you play this game in the evening, make sure you bank your rep. So let's go to the garage now, which is where you spend lots of your time customizing your vehicle. As you can see, I have this Skyline GTR, and I will go into the Performance tab. But first, before I do that, let's take a look at the visuals once again. I know the graphics are really good, but I just think this looks awesome. This Skyline GTR is beautiful to look at. This is the closest I'll get to ever owning one of these, so I like it a lot. But again, here in this garage, this is where you get to do what you want visually to the car. You can tune it to your liking. And as you can see, there are 4 different racing types: the road, the race, off-road, and drift. So you'll be doing each of those 4 components. I guess racing is the more correct way to put it. Those type of races throughout the game, and you want to make sure you have a car tuned for each racing type accordingly. So earlier on when I was playing this game, I had a 240SX that I tuned for the drifting portion of the game, and I had an Evo where I tuned it for off-roading. So there's lots of options there, and there's lots of tough choices you might have to make, and to put your money where you want to with a car. So as you see here, I'm going through showing you guys the different customization options. These are kind of like the, I guess you could say, miscellaneous perks that you can equip to your car. A nitrous refill right there, which I highly recommend. These are the auxiliary attachments. That's what I meant to call them. Then of course, as you see, drivetrain, chassis, all that stuff. Engine swaps are a nice addition. Some of them are good, in that they work well, but they can run really pricey, which could be extremely frustrating. I think the better way to go about it is just replacing, part by part with your respective vehicle. If you have money for a swap, go for it, but I personally did not do that in this game. So again, this is the garage. You can see all your different cars you have here, and yeah, that's an overview of the things you can do in the garage. So as far as the performance of the game goes, I was very satisfied with my experience. There weren't any issues for me. This is a game where you can play it offline if you want. You can play it online if you'd like. I personally recommend playing offline just because the story mode and the racing and all that, I think, is a little bit more smoothly run by doing it in that fashion. Of course, by any means, if you'd like to do it that way, go ahead. But I think to really enjoy this game, if you play it just yourself, play solo, I think you will find yourself a lot more satisfied at the end and feel like you've gotten more out of this game at the end. So the performance, I will give a 9 out of 10. I didn't play much online with this game. I just played solo, which I recommend. I think that gives you a better experience and more of a hands-on feeling for this game. And again, I had no glitches or issues. Game played well, and yeah, that was a good redeeming quality. So the last part I would like to talk about in Need for Speed Heat is the entertainment value. Now, it's really mixed for me, to be honest. The entertainment was really fun early on. It was great being able to have the goal to race and then get a better car after I win the race or I accumulate the money. But it is difficult to stay fully engaged once you reach that rep level of 50. There's still plenty of races that you'll be able to do once you reach that threshold. But it just kind of like, what am I doing this for now? Am I doing this to just get more money and get all the cars? It's just hard to stay motivated once you take care of all the driving stories and you reach that final rep level. So it's not as engaging as I would have liked. I think maybe I wish that there was, a little more with the main story. I felt like that could have been a little bit longer, and even the driving stories, while they were fun, they kind of ended abruptly. Like the there's a little exhaust noise for you on the 180SX. That's really cool as well. You can see how your exhaust sounds, and as you guys saw, the customizations are endless, by the way. That's not a weakness for this game. But going back to the entertainment value, this is all fun. Being able to customize, and you see here some of the community paint jobs that you can apply to your car. It's just at the end, once you reach the rep level of 50, you're going to be, I think, bored. And I would say maybe at that point you can really dive into the online component of the game and see what it has to offer in that regard. So I was a little disappointed at the entertainment value. This was a game I probably put 20 to 25 hours of, and I was like, okay, well, that's that was fun. What's next? And I didn't really have a firm answer to what really came next with this game. So that was a real shame. It's definitely not a strong trait for Need for Speed Heat. So entertainment value is a little bit of a letdown, I would say. So for the entertainment, I will give a 7 out of 10. Need for Speed Heat is fun, but it just kind of ends abruptly. And once you reach that rep level 50 and finish all the driving stories, the other races just seem kind of pointless. And honestly, it seems like a bit of a waste of time. So a little bit of a letdown with regards to that. So as we dive into the final scorecard, let's get into it. The graphics, 9 out of 10. Performance, another 9 out of 10. And then the entertainment, a 7, thus giving you a score of 25 out of 30. Need for Speed Heat, it was fun. It looked good. It played pretty well. But I was just left wanting more at the end once I reached rep level 50. It kind of ended abruptly, and I was just looking forward to more. And maybe they'll put out some DLC, but still really disappointed with not enough quality at the end. Alright guys, that wraps up my video on Need for Speed Heat. I know not a high score compared to Far Cry 5, but still, it is a good racing game. You just won't get as many hours out of it as you might like, say with the Project Cars 2 or a Gran Turismo Sport. Need for Speed Heat is more along the lines of an arcade racing game, which I think contributes to the shorter lifespan of the game itself. Leave me a comment below if you played this game, if you liked it, if you didn't like it. Let me know your thoughts. Until next time, guys, have a good one.